Today, I'm going to break down this model so you get a better idea of what I'm doing. There was a lot of questions, a lot of emails I got on the first video that I made, so I want to thank you all. I didn't know there was that much interest in this 3D printed model, but apparently there is. So the first thing I want to say is thank you for sharing and thank you for liking or clicking the like button. And the second thing I want to do is tell you that we'll get a little bit in depth here on what I do. So to start it off, uh, I printed out a poster of a picture of the aerial view of the city, the model that's in Jerusalem. And then what I do from there is just start 3D printing and filling in the spaces on the model. And I'll give you an example. One spot on there was the Colosseum. Hopefully you can see that in there. One spot was the Colosseum, and hopefully you can see that on there. But I print it up, and then I get into the modeling software, and then you make it. I mean, it's not an exact science, it's not perfect, but it looks pretty close to what you have on the paper. And I believe that was in the video, so that gives you an idea of what I do. And if you remember the video, if you look up in the pictures on the video, the lower section of David was just a bunch of little random houses was all it was. And I just kept printing them different sizes, different shapes to print that up until I got a cluster of them to look like it does in the picture. And the next thing, I moved up to the upper city of David, and the houses got bigger and square. They were a lot squarer. And so I 3D printed those too, and I didn't prime. These are going next into my shed so I can get them primered up. The painting, I'm not real big on the painting, so you'll have to bear with me on that one. My latest project that I just loaded up on the internet was at the top of the upper city of David is the Herod's palace, where they said they took Jesus to. And well, it's two mirror images of two palaces, and see if I can orient this right. And obviously it's not painted either. But then I need to make a courtyard in between the two. And if you go look up the city of David, the upper city of David, you'll see the palace sitting there, the two mirrored pictures. But I wanted to, those of you that are interested in maybe printing some of this up yourself or designing this yourself, or maybe even helping me with the design, I'd like to ask you right now if you could click that follow button, or if you could subscribe to the YouTube channel and put any of your comments or any advice that you have in there. If you're good at designing buildings for 3D printing, I could sure use your help. It takes months for me to design something. But I'll give you, there was some questions, some emails in there about a close-up view of the temple. So I'd like to take this time now. Hopefully my camera's good, but I'll start with the temple and see if we could zoom that in on there. We'll start with the temple. This one, I did manage to get that painted. It's a smaller version. All these items that I'm showing you are on my Thingiverse page. If you go to thingiverse.com and look up Jerusalem City, you will find my page on there. Everything that I'm showing you in this video is on my page. You can go there, download it, and print it up yourself, but they will come out the color of your plastic. You got to paint it yourself. But I took that, and I took these walls, and I made the columns that go around, and just glued it to a board of foam. And then you set the temple in there, and then that's going to be set aside on a mountain up in the air. And we'll get the layout but all the walls when you print them look like this. And then I just glued them together and just chained them along to make the outer wall to that temple. And I have the lower wall, some of you probably remember it, the Wailing Wall. And I got to tell you, the Wailing Wall, somebody went to Jerusalem and took a picture of the Wailing Wall, and then they took that same picture and somehow they got it in the computer, so you can actually print, when it comes time to doing the Wailing Wall side, I can actually 3D print the original and an exact copy of the Wailing Wall. So I thought that was pretty cool. But there's not much else left to tell you right now. I just did not know it was that big of an interest. I bought a hot wire foam cutter and some plaster cloth, I think that's what they call it. And we're going to try to bring the 3D dimension to the platform that I have here and get it raised up in 3D like you would a hobby train setup. So we're going to try to do that. If you could just go to the YouTube page or Thingiverse, or go to my Facebook page and follow along, it would be awesome just to see. Put your comments below. It would be interesting to see what your comments and just any thoughts that you have. I would like to get some posts and run some lighting in this, so you might see some wires in the video laying around. And what they're for is hopefully later on, as the scene gets laid out a little better, I want to be able to put some lights on it, and I want to be able to take it to other churches and where they can see it when it's done and take some time and really look at it. And I don't want to keep it in my house. But yeah, I hope I answered some of your questions. The next project that I'll be working on is starting to form the landscape to this, so some of these items can be laid in place and glued down, and it can start taking shape. So I'll be making some more videos that you guys want to follow along. I'll be making some more videos. Hit me up in the comments if you're willing to help and design any buildings. There's still a lot left to design. If you have any ideas on how I should make the mountains, if you have any ideas on how I should build the landscaping part of it, I would appreciate all your advice that you could give me. I do appreciate that you guys took the time to watch the first video. I hope this one explains things a little bit, makes it a little bit better for understanding. If you guys want to see some 3D printer videos, or if you do want to see some of the painting videos, let me know in the comments below, and I guess I could record myself painting them. I don't know, but we're gonna have to see how this video turns out first. I'm not into producing videos too well unless I'm sitting in front of the computer itself. So I'm gonna take the camera and I'll scan out what I have right now. Maybe, hopefully it'll look good. It'll give you an idea of the layout. Everything is just a flat board right now. But what I'd like to do eventually is work on getting this thing set up on the board. So, I don't know, maybe we could pan out. Oh, that's going to pan in. Okay, I don't want to pan in any. You could see my 3D printed lower city of David and some of the walls there. Hopefully this layout try to get the whole thing in here. There's not much to see, to be honest with you. It's just a flat board right now. But I'm going to try to raise up the temple. We're going to try to raise up the temple because these walls right here need to be added to that to give it the height that it is in some of the pictures that I have. I'm going to try to show you guys what the paper looks like. This is, I don't know if you can see that real good, but here's the one palace, and here's the other. They're just two mirrored palaces, and then once you 3D print them, you set them, orientate them, and then they'll set right in the middle. So I hope that shows you, gives you an idea of what I'm doing here. Any 3D, let me know in the comments. Like I said, if you want to see any of the videos or any videos on actually 3D printing this stuff, and we'll see if we can make whatever you guys want to see. I don't know how much of the process you guys want to see, but we're going to hopefully take this foam here and get this lifted up in the air. So I'll shoot another video when I get that process started, but as you can see, I still have a lot of painting to do. I don't have anything for the upper city painted yet, and I don't have a lot of any of the walls. I got the back painted to sort of darken it up, but I don't have much painted. So there's my city.